What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be giving you a walkthrough of my Gheenoe 15.4 Highsider. Now that everything's done to it, I'm going to show you everything I did do to it, how I did it all, and overall how much I like this boat. So let's get into it. First things first, I don't think my driveway is a suitable spot to be doing a Gheenoe walkthrough, so I'm going to go ahead, hop in my truck, head to the ramp, get this thing out on the water, and have a more scenic location to give you guys this walkthrough. Alright guys, I'm just now leaving the ramp, as you can see, and when I pulled my boat up to the extra docking, or the ramp docking I should say, there was two FWC officers, and I'm not gonna lie, this thing isn't quite the most registered boat out there. So it had me going for a second, but we're good. Anyways, we're out here. I'm not going out there because it is super windy. I'm actually going all the way as far up this river as I can into the marsh. So we're gonna go ahead and get the time lapse rolling, and we'll be there. Alright guys, finally we found a nice little sandbar for the Gheenoe to hang out on. I think it's about, I don't know, 5 inches of water, maybe 6 inches, who knows. But found this sandbar on the side of the river, figured this is the perfect place for us to be doing a walkthrough video. And in this walkthrough video, I'm actually going to start with the motor. The motor is a Hankai 18 horse, which is actually just a copy of a Yamaha 15 horse two-stroke. And honestly, it's the best outboard motor I've ever owned. This thing is reliable, it does everything I needed to do, it's fast, it's quiet for a two-stroke, and this thing has never left me stranded. I've had this thing sitting for a month before, and it will just start first pull, no problem. This is an amazing motor. I love this motor, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get rid of it. And I got it for 600 bucks on Marketplace, which I have a YouTube video on that. You can go check it out. I also want to mention my tiller handle, which is sponsored by Lowe's. It's got a piece of PVC, some baseball glove leather, and wrapped the tip of the handle with it, which has been great. Actually, that's over a year old and it's still holding up wonderful. With some hose clamps, stainless steel obviously, and all I did for this was just cut a line down the middle, spread it open, put it on, let it close, put some hose clamps on it, and this thing has been on 3 motors now. It's been a trooper. I love it. It's been dunked in the water many times by trimming up the motor, and it's just been super durable and super reliable for me. And next up, we're going to talk about this jack plate. This jack plate is 4 pieces of angled aluminum that are a foot long a piece, and they are 2.5 inches wide on each angle. And I got those off of Amazon for 40 bucks. And then the back plate that is on here is just 2 3/4 inch marine pieces of plywood bolted and glued together. That is also bolted into the back of the angled aluminum. I have a YouTube video on how to make this jack plate as well. It took me all of an hour, and like I said, some nuts, bolts, angled aluminum, a little bit of wood. This has been an awesome jack plate, and I can actually set it to different heights. Right now I have it at about 3 inches of height, which is perfect for the Gheenoe, and I haven't had any issues with it. Up next, I'm going to talk about my electronics on this boat, which starts here at this 5-position switch panel I got on Amazon for 25 bucks. And all my electronics are powered by a Milwaukee battery, so this is the Milwaukee battery adapter that powers the switch panel, and the switch panel obviously powers all of the electronics on this boat, starting with the bilge pump. I got the wires running through the rubber here, going back to the bilge pump and the anchor light. And then under the deck, I actually have a PVC pipe, which I'll show you here in a second, that goes up through this hatch and out there. And then I got my wires going for my flush mounted nav lights, which I absolutely love these nav lights. They're only $27 on Amazon. They're super bright, and you can definitely see, people can definitely see me when I'm driving down through the river or whatever at night. And then lastly, my light bar. I got this light bar off Amazon. I think it was another 20 bucks for 2 of them, which it's super bright and it's everything I need for this boat. All right, so next up, I'm gonna talk about this grab bar, which is my most recent upgrade to this boat. This grab bar was on Amazon for $60, and it is floor mounted, so you can't really use this on every type of Gheenoe, because I do have a deck in this Gheenoe, which we'll talk about next. And this grab bar, I should have did this upgrade a long time ago, because it is just the best thing you can have for a Gheenoe. Because if you know how unstable these Gheenoes are, this grab bar is amazing. Great stability. It is a little, you know, unstable itself, but for me to lean on when I'm hitting the corners and everything, it is just a phenomenal grab bar. 60 bucks. I do have a video on that too on here. Go check that out. And up next, I'm going to talk about the deck. The deck is wood, and it's made out of 1/2-inch marine grade wood, and it has 2.5 inch tall stringers that run across under the deck. And the deck was actually the second thing I did to this boat, because the middle seat was halfway cut out, and with that, you know, it was super unstable. This whole wall would bounce super crazy while you were driving it, and there was no support stability. So instead of just fiberglassing a new seat in, I just decided I'm gonna build a deck, which I went ahead and fiberglassed the wood and the stringers and, you know, glued, screwed, resined all of that in, and it's super solid. And when I drilled the pilot holes for the grab bar, all the sawdust, the wood pieces that came from those holes were all still dry, which makes me really happy. The deck was obviously one of the biggest jobs on this boat, and I have a kind of a how I did it video, not a how-to video, on my page of how I did it, and it's honestly one of the best upgrades I think you can do for these Gheenoes. And also don't forget the little side support brackets, because if you know anything about a Gheenoe, these walls are not super stable, so you need to add those in for stability. Honorable mention is this hook keep, which I got from Florida Cracker Kitchen in Brooksville, Florida. And then we're going to talk about the first modification I ever put on this boat, which was the front hatch. This front hatch is not built amazingly. It's essentially just a piece of starboard and a hatch cover. And I actually did my first little bit of fiberglass in this boat, which was I fiberglassed these angled aluminum brackets in for support, so you can actually stand up here if you really wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend it. I love the hatch up here, but honestly, it's just as practical as it isn't practical, because you can still stand here because that's obviously the front seat and fish and everything, but it's very unstable here because I never actually glassed it in the middle, so it is very flexy. I can stand here because of that, you know, brace that's up there, but also when you want to run the trolling motor mount is so far away from where you can sit that I actually have to open this, put my feet in here to run the trolling motor. So like I said, it's just as practical as it is not practical, and I do like it a lot. I think I'd rather have it than not, but that's just a couple complaints about this starboard front hatch that I have up here. On the pros side of it, it does create good storage, it's dry, and I have all my safety stuff, my life vests, obviously my camera equipment in there, and it's awesome. The last two items I'm going to talk about with this boat is this trolling motor mount, which I got this trolling motor mount off Facebook Marketplace for $80. Honestly, it's been a great trolling motor mount. It works good. The only complaint I do have is that the trolling motor likes to slip on this when it gets wet. So, you know, I usually put a little board behind it or get a piece of foam to make it grip up a little bit. But for 80 bucks, it's been a really good trolling motor mount. Obviously, I got my GoPro mount on the front there to face back at me. And then I got my GoPro mount up here to face head that way. And the last thing I'm going to talk about with this boat is actually something you probably don't expect, but it is these little Velcro fishing rod mounts. I put these on here on a whim with just one stainless steel screw and the piece of Velcro, because there was a time where Ryan and I, before I had that grab bar, were on the boat, and I was showing him how much better it would be with a grab bar, lost my footing, the whole boat went sideways almost into the water, and Ryan got dumped and his rods got dumped. So as you can see here, I have my fishing rod Velcroed in so they won't go anywhere. And this is kind of an unintentional upgrade, but when I put the front hatch on, it created these little holes. Well, this side is usually for the shallow water anchor that I'm using, and they aren't the craziest support ever, but they do hold the rods in, and they do provide a lot of support and, you know, peace of mind when I'm out here running the Gheenoe, because you know these things are not stable. Some of you guys that have been here since day one know that I actually started this channel with this boat as essentially a bare hull. There was nothing to it. The trailer was junk, the motor that it had was junk, the seat was halfway cut out in the middle, and I've done everything to this boat. I have a video for everything on this boat, and I do love this boat, but the reason for this video is I am actually going to sell this boat because I have other things coming. I have other content to make. I will forever thank this boat for giving me the content that it has, but it is time to move on, unfortunately. I don't quite know what I'm going to price it at. I'm going to keep the Highsider, obviously, because I love that motor. So I'm gonna sell it just with a titles, trailer, and a bare hull with all its electronics and everything. I don't know what I'm gonna post it for, but this is the, you know, reason why I'm making this video. So say your goodbyes. This might be the last time you'll ever see it. Who knows? So anyways, if you guys like what you see, consider subscribing. See you on the next one.